We are in Fort Worth, Texas for the CrossFit Games. And this is the first year the CrossFit Games have been in Texas. And everyone in the CrossFit community, I think, was really excited about the venue, excited about this location. And yesterday on event number 1, it was a run swim event. And one of the athletes, Lazar Dukic, he unfortunately passed away. He drowned on the swim. No one ever expects anything like that to happen. You know, some of the athletes are choosing to withdraw. Some of the athletes are choosing to push on because that's what they thought that Lazar would want. What we decided to do is stay the course with our Train Hard Men's Club. You know, what we do every week back home for 50 weeks is we bring guys together to do hard things so they can show up better for their community. And I know what I know is that when I'm going through a difficult time, doing hard things together in a community seems to make it better. This morning, we hosted a Train Hard Men's Club. We had a lot of guys come out. We held a prayer for Lazar and for his family and just kind of started off the day in a better way. I'm hopeful the CrossFit Games finish out strong because that's not the way that anyone wanted them to start. And it's gonna be something that for a long time is gonna be difficult for the community. And I just hope that everyone can handle it as best as possible.
So here we are at Open Mat. We have quite a few people that are doing jiu-jitsu for their very first time. And it's exactly the same mindset that I have getting ready for the Tactical Games. I love the idea of learning new skills, and I want to continue to learn new skills throughout the rest of my life. And challenging myself along my journey with the Tactical Games, with jiu-jitsu, with different skill sets, only allows me to create these goals, to train hard for it, and to have those skills for the rest of my life. And if I could do that for a variety of things along my journey, not only does it keep me inspired, but also think about where you're gonna be at 10, 20 years from now. You're gonna be a jack of all trades. You're gonna have acquired skills across the board, and that's exactly what I wanna do to protect and provide. Session is definitely bridge the gap between CrossFit and Jiu-Jitsu. There's people here that only do one or both, etc. And I want to share with you guys a little bit more about strength and conditioning, in particular, how to utilize the sandbags on the side of the mat. My 2 top memories of the CrossFit Games really had to do with knowing I was gonna win before I won. And I think that in CrossFit, in the games, right, a lot of the times it'll just be like, boom, by a second, you barely win. But there's sometimes that people are blessed to know they're gonna win minutes before they win. And that happened to me on the burden run and on the half marathon row.
When it was all said and done, Khalipa got his 2nd straight win with a time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, 2.3 seconds. The back-to-back victories put Khalipa atop the overall leaderboard heading into the weekend.
Both times I knew I was gonna win minutes before I actually won. So I got to really embrace that moment and really celebrate the win. Those are the moments that the CrossFit Games really stand out to me.
Jason Khalipa, first done with the pig flip. He is your overall leader. Khalipa is ripping into this sled. Jason Khalipa is across the finish line. 3 straight wins for Khalipa.
I never got into the CrossFit Games for money, fame, or whatever. I got into it before any of that. And so every year going into the CrossFit Games, my wife and I would talk and say, hey, are we prepared to make the commitment this year? The commitment always lied on the fact that I wanted to test myself. I wanted to see where I stacked up and where my hard work can get me. And at some point with my wife, we had to have good conversations about, is this a journey the family wants to continue on? Because she makes sacrifices just like I did. When my daughter got diagnosed with leukemia, it was the easiest decision ever to just step away from the sport because it didn't align with my why and my values as a husband, as a father. I had to be there for my family, and it was a really easy decision actually. But when I look back on my career in CrossFit, I don't have any regrets, and I feel like I reached my potential. I know that every day of training, every week, every month, every year, I ask myself, am I putting myself in the best position to win the CrossFit Games? And wherever the cards fell, they fell when I actually went there. So knowing that, I do feel like I reached my potential because I was very honed in on that the entire journey. I would travel all over the world teaching seminars for CrossFit, and people would always come up to me and be like, man, I would never want to get in a fight with you. And I'd always think to myself, like, I don't really fight. I'm just like really big and fit, but I don't have those skills. And it always bothered me over the years. So when Ava got sick, I wanted something to free my mind, to be present and focus on something else just for even a moment. And there's no better thing than jiu-jitsu because you have to be so present when someone's trying to choke you. It was very instrumental in my life at the time to put me in the right state of mind. And today it still does the exact same thing, just in a different way. As I've gotten older, as I've had children, as I've evolved as a business owner, I've just been looking for new skills that I could really dive into so that one day I could look back really long from now and know that I had a life where I kind of like acquired new skills, I found purpose through training, and I was able to utilize those in real world activities. I like the idea that I could have the confidence to walk down the street with my family and feel more comfortable because I've earned that from years and years and years of placing myself in violent situations in a controlled environment on the mats. Or I've earned it by spending hours and hours and hours on the shooting range. It has to be earned. And I think setting up these goals like tactical games, it gives me something to train for so I can put in the hours and then go test myself and see how I did. I am very excited for the tactical games. I have goals and expectations on how I want to perform. But even if I didn't perform those expectations, dude, my comfort and my abilities have skyrocketed. Having these ebbs and flows where you're finding different things to focus on while simultaneously always having a baseline of fitness, I think is the way I'm gonna stay consistent forever.
Blake, nice to meet you.
You mind if I grab a picture?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Sweet.
There you go.
Thanks,
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
nice to meet you guys too. Have a great afternoon. Awesome.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I won the CrossFit Games in 2008, and ever since I've been a part of the community. I've watched it grow. I've watched it go to different states. I've watched it thrive and grow globally. And one of the things that I always told myself early on in CrossFit is that anytime I show up, if there's ever an opportunity to engage with someone or take a picture or do something, I'll never say no. And it's because there'll be one day where they're no longer gonna ask for a picture, no longer gonna ask to chat about something. And so while that time is here, I'm gonna do whatever I can, one engagement at a time, to try and like show them my appreciation for them supporting me along my journey. And that's what the CrossFit community is all about. On our way to Tana Hills right now, rocking my GR2. I love this ruck. I love it because I can load it up. I can get in some movement when I'm at airports. It also has multiple compartments. We're about to get after it. Let's go. I get the question a lot, hey, do you miss competing at the CrossFit Games? And when you come to events like this, does it invoke, what type of emotion does it invoke? And, you know, I get excited for them. I want to watch them thrive. I want to watch them compete. I want to be, you know, I love the thrill of people putting themselves in the arena to throw down. But for me personally, like, I don't have the desire to compete because that journey ended for me in CrossFit. And now I'm looking to other things to test myself. When these athletes are competing, it's like an experience for them, of course, but it's also they're putting on a show for the community because they're professional athletes. For me at the Tactical Games, I'm doing it for me to go out there, whether there was one person, 10 people, or 1,000 people watching, I just want to be able to throw down to know that I'm setting goals and I am the person who's prepared to go out there and see how I stack up and then only improve from there. I would like to see myself finish in the top 5. Hell, I'd like to be on the podium. And I think that's really important because I think setting realistic goals based on the amount of work you've done is important. There's been guys that have done a lot more work than me who can have the confidence to say they're there only to win. I want to go there, of course I want to win, but it's just setting clear expectations based on the amount of work I've done to get there. Maybe a year from now, I'll have different expectations, but right now, it's like top 5, dude. I'd be stoked. I think I'm prepared for the Tactical Games today. I think I'm prepared because I don't know what I don't know.
when you actually get into competition, that's where things change. And so I need to go out there and I need to go expose myself to competition to really see these opportunities for me to excel. Anybody can be good at the range when they're just training with their friends. But when you go out there and you're competing and the pressure is on, what mistakes are you gonna make? And that's where I'm gonna find out where I could really make some benefits and then for my next competition, get ready for it. So you wanna mimic this high heart rate, and a way that I'm gonna be doing that is by using sand, right? I'm gonna be training with sand to get my heart rate elevated and then still trying to manipulate the gun and see if I hit my game plan. I'm gonna come up with my mantra, I'm gonna come up with my game plan, I'm gonna get my heart rate spiked, I'm gonna see if I can still do it. That's what I'm gonna do over the next month.
That's all I got, gentlemen. That was 45 minutes of fun on the dot. Yeah. All right. Yeah, just wrapped up our Train Hard Men's Club here in Fort Worth, Texas. Dude, awesome group, solid vibes. I thought that we really got across the message of what we're trying to accomplish.
You did. You got across the message that we were trying to accomplish.
That's it.
Come out, sweat a little bit. Nobody cares how many reps you do. Just show up, be around like-minded people, be healthy, drink some coffee, talk about your life. You might make some friends. We need more friends and love in the world.
That's it. That's it. Hey, so we did it then. Jason, we did it. We accomplished the goal, huh? I love it. I love it, man. That's it, bro. That's it. That's all we got.
I'm a lifelong competitor and I'm always gonna find things to test myself because if I'm not growing, I'm basically dying.
3, 2, 1, go.